Damn leaves everywhere today. Wasn't going to do a video of, I've got a Maxima here I'm just doing brakes on. Just straightforward, machine the discs, new pads, blah blah, brake fluid flush. But I came across this when I was pulling it apart. It had a bent pin here so it was seized, wouldn't move at all. And someone had stripped the bolt in crooked. So I had good fun getting that apart. So I decided to sand this whole thing off and get it sandblasted and new pins and everything. Shit of a thing. The other side was alright, but yeah. Well, again I will point out, always wire wheel or sand the surface of this to get all the rust off it, and same with the inside of the rotor. That way you get a nice flush meeting area and it doesn't give the brakes vibrations. And always remember when pushing the pistons back to put a hose on it, usually, into a jar and open the nipple. And so the fluid comes out, doesn't push it back up into the master cylinder or into the ABS system. So it'll cause more harm than good doing that. So this one was nice and easy. I was going to use the clamp, but I was able to push it back just with my two thumbs. So, but yes, always let the fluid out. Don't push it back. That's just a big, big no-no. So, yeah. Yeah, it's nice opening a bonnet on a car from 1990 and seeing all new hoses, new belts. Everything's been done in here. So, yeah, new leads, new plugs, it works. Just need to do the rocker cover gaskets. Going to give it a brake fluid flush. Yes, the last service I did the works. Like, everything. Timing belt was fun. Yeah, I think you'll see videos of that. I'll put one up. Need to give it yet another coolant flush. This car does a lot of sitting around, and it was a second-hand engine which seemed a bit rusty, and they put a second-hand radiator in. So I didn't fit the engine or the radiator. I was smart enough not to. But yeah, I was too busy back in those days, spilling cooling towers and everything. So yeah, and I got to clean that up. That's unacceptable. You can have this fun noise drive you mad for a minute. I have to have the steering lock off. I have to say, doing rack mounts in one of these Maximas is an asshole of a job. But here's the old one. It's stop side to side movement. As you see, it's all broken out on the sides. So the rack was just sliding around depending on how much gas you give or if you're turning a corner, which was pretty bad for a V6 front wheel drive. So I got a nice new genuine one here. That should work well. That's where the rubber goes. It's kind of a job. You've got to take out this rear engine mount, drop the cross member, or the brace, take off the other mount, remove the rack, drop the engine a bit. Good fun. Well, that was a pretty good job, but it's all back together now. So the engine mount's in, that's up, all the subframes back together. So this mount's in. You can see how far it was moving. This mount I changed probably 6 months ago, but that one, yeah, he couldn't afford the labour. So finally we get it done now. But yeah, you can see it's been sliding a bit. But it's only that one that stops it sliding. This one just sort of holds it straight. A bit of a shit design. Why have you got a fizzy tail? What's up? Have you just been like snarling at something? Big fizzy tail. You're going to try and get stuck to the door again, are you? Well, I'm flushing the brake fluid on the Maxima here. I've already done the front brakes. The reason I'm flushing the fluid is because it needed new front brakes, so you always do the fluid. I've never flushed the fluid in this car before because the fluid in the master cylinder was always, it was clean and passed the test. So, never did it. But I've actually worked out that someone had actually just changed the fluid in the master cylinder but didn't flush the system, and probably never have. And nasty shit came out of the front calipers. It looks like rust or something's just coming out of the rear one here. I don't know. I hate it when people do that. They don't do the job properly, but they make it look like they've done it, so you don't do it and then realise that it fucks shit. Because if it's all full of water, it rusts out your brake system. That could be what's happened here. So the piston and all that will be screwed. So when I go to do the rear brakes, I'll have to reco the calipers. Really annoying. But we'll see. Well, that's the goo that came out of that caliper. I put quite a bit through it, so it should be nice and clean now. But, yeah, you can see the rust plume floating in there. Nasty. Why don't people change brake fluid properly, as they should? It's probably another rip-off mechanic from years ago. Just for video purposes, I've cleaned the jar and just put a bit of fresh fluid in the bottom there, and I will now flush the driver's side rear brake, and let's see what ends up in this jar. You need a bit of fluid just to put the hose in to stop the air from going back in the system. Yeah, it's some unhealthy looking shit. Oh well, it's all clean now. Should work better. Right. Let's take this J30 Maxima for a quick spin. Bed the brakes in and all. Already warmed it up. It's cool again already. It's warmed it up, turned it around so I can do the rear brakes. Yeah, brake pedal feels good. Yeah, it's warm enough. Cool. Rad. Yeah, the brakes work well. Yeah, I'll go for a bad in drive. Oh, it's a lot better to drive with the rack mounts done. The steering wheel doesn't go wherever it wants to. You can turn corners and it's straight afterwards. Beforehand it used to not be straight. Brakes are good. Excellent.